Stay home.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the public hearing. It's 10:05. I'll open the meeting now at 10:05 a.m. on Friday, February 21st. And for the first part of the meeting, I will read a description of the project into the record, basically a legal description of the project, and open it up for questions. I'll let you know that Joe Mendelson from the solar developer is here with us today, attending the meeting, so he'll be able to participate in the discussion as well, or help to answer any questions. So, has everyone signed in on the attendance? Okay, great. So bear with me while I read the description. ASA Volney, New York Solar 1, LLC, submitted an application to the IDA requesting that the IDA consider undertaking a project consisting of the acquisition of a leasehold interest in approximately 25 acres of real property located on 1232 County Route 6, also known as 1028 Gilbert Mills Road, in the town of Fulton, County of Oswego, State of New York. The project includes the construction on the land of an approximately 25 acre solar photovoltaic energy facility, including but not limited to solar panels, racking inverters, transformers, switchboards, 3 energy storage systems, and a gravel access road. In addition, the project includes the acquisition and installation in and around the facility and or for use in connection with the project of various machinery, equipment, furnishings, and other items of tangible personal property. The company has requested the IDA to grant certain financial assistance in the form of exemptions from real property taxes and state and local sales and use tax. And the company has also further requested the lease of the land and the facility by the company to the agency pursuant to a lease agreement, the acquisition by the agency of an interest in the equipment pursuant to a bill of sale from the company, and the sublease of the project facility back to the company and or the owner of the land pursuant to a sublease agreement. The company will be the initial operator of the project facility, and I should let you know that the agency or the IDA has not made a decision with respect to the undertaking of the project or the granting of the financial assistance that the company has requested. And to that point, the IDA had an initial review of the project to its council and also the IDA board. The IDA board considered the project on the January meeting, and at the January meeting, the first of 2 meetings, basically what is determined is that it's an eligible project under New York state law. An initial resolution was passed, and now the taxing authorities were informed, and now we're sitting here at the public hearing. The IDA meets next Thursday at 9 a.m. on February 27th in the city of Oswego at 44 West Bridge Street. It's a public meeting, so that's another opportunity for the public to participate in this discussion and provide input to the board, and any time in between now and then as well. At that meeting, the particulars of the project, including the details of what the company has requested in their application, will be considered, reviewed by the board. Maybe some discussion of whether it will be accepted as submitted or go back to the company with some amendments. And the purpose of this public hearing is to understand where the citizens and interested members of the public stand on the project and to get input. I bring the input back to the board for its meeting on next Thursday. So that's the process. With that being said, I guess I'll open it up. Maybe I will ask, since Joe is here, I'll ask Joe perhaps to give an update on the project, a little bit of a status and where things are with the project. So Joe, if you would.
Thank you so much. As you said, my name is Joseph Mendelson. I'm from Omni Navitas. We are the developer of the project. ASA Volney LLC 1 is the special entity of the project location itself. We are working with an investor to construct the project and eventually use this for community solar. We have worked with the planning board here and with Jennifer Parrish to obtain conditional approval and gone through the SEQA process here in the town of Volney, which we obtained in fall of 2019, which then allowed us to start the process with the Oswego County IDA for this. As of right now, we are currently out to bid for construction companies to hopefully start to break ground in the spring once the weather lifts up. As he said, this will be a 5 megawatt fixed tilt solar project located on 1232 County Route 6 on David Scudder's property, which we will be leasing for a term of 25 years to participate in community schools. I guess if there are any questions about the project specifics, I'd be glad to answer them for you. If not, we can, any other project questions?
You were saying, when he was reading the description, that you're gonna have 3 buildings for storage, is that,
Correct.
is that to store so at nighttime it feeds the grid?
Correct. Yeah. And as you all know, the solar power is wonderful, except for the fact that it's only viable during the day. And the addition of the energy storage facilities are to help kind of shift the collection and use it during more peak hours, which will in turn help relieve some of the congestion on the grid.
And is that, what's the capacity of the storage facility? It's gonna be putting out at nighttime?
It's roughly, I want to say about 6 megawatts. We're still in the process of figuring out the exact capacity that we want to construct there. We have proposed 3, which can hold up to a total of 9 megawatts, but it's probably going to be around 6 megawatts of storage capacity, which will come out at various stages throughout the evening. Not overnight, but in the evening.
But then you said that this site was a 5 megawatt site,
Correct.
and now you're saying you got 6 megawatts of storage?
So
So is that 5 megawatts gonna be able to keep those 6 megawatts of storage
yes,
charged
yes.
and
So
still supplied to the grid?
correct.
Wow.
Is there any essential up there in that neighborhood with any of the people that live around there?
To our knowledge, we have reached out to all the neighbors. Both myself and David have reached out to all the neighbors. We have held public hearings for the project site plan approval process, and we haven't received any comments regarding that.
Is this gonna have a 6-foot high chain link fence around it,
Correct.
enclosure?
Yep, and we also have vegetative screening as well.
I got one more question too. What is the decommissioning process when you get done? Do you put it back as is, as the way you found it, right? The
Correct.
fence is all gone, the buildings are all gone and everything, and it's farmland again?
Correct.
How much of a bond do you have to put up for the decommissioning?
We're still working that out. That's part of the conditional approval with the town. We still have to work that.
There's also a disposal problem with solar panels, isn't there? Or are they finding a way to, when they take them down?
They are finding a way to salvage majority of it. There are some parts which are recyclable, but they are finding uses.
Okay. Because there's gonna be a lot of pain.
Yes.
What were the tax breaks they were looking for?
Sure, so there's 2 parts. One is, has to do with the real property tax, and the other one has to do with the New York State sales tax exemption. Let me cover the second one first. The New York State sales tax exemption would be to help to provide tax-free purchases to the company when they're buying materials for the project. Labor on construction like this isn't not taxable in New York State. So for example, any materials for the racking or the panels or the electrical hardware that may be purchased in New York State, if approved, the exemption would exempt them from those sales taxes, as well as, for example, the fencing or other materials that might be brought in to provide the gravel roadway. So that's the second of the 2. The first is on the real property tax side. The company has applied for a 20-year pilot agreement, which would provide, they've applied for $3,000 per megawatt. That's one of the items that will be considered by the IDA board next week, next Thursday, which means $15,000 per year of total tax revenue. It comes through the pilot structure rather than directly to the taxing authorities, so that therefore the company would pay the IDA. The IDA within 30 days remits the proceeds to the taxing authorities, prorated based on the tax rates. So as school tax or county or town or tax increase or decrease over the years, the mix of the taxes split would change. So at 5 megawatts is $15,000. Currently, the taxes, excluding any special district charges, if any, are $4,466. So it is an increase, significant increase in the tax income, I guess you could say, from the property.
How do they figure the assessment? Does that change? Does that improve his property or decrease?
Of course, the assessment will be determined by the town when, once the project's complete. The pilot application that the company has applied for would be independent of the assessment. It would be this based on the megawatts. And Joe, feel free to jump in, but with these solar developments, the reason that's done with solar developments primarily is to have predictability of the cost. The one thing that's unpredictable is the energy market, but to be able to predict the cost of the facility for the 20 years applied for.
Does that property tax go up if that was earned?
The company has not included an annual escalator in their application.
So I guess the big question is, what's the advantage to the town of Volney to put this in here?
Sure. The increase in the taxes, and I don't have the split for the town, but if the total tax between town, county, and school is, in rough figures, $4,500 today, and goes to $15,000 with this project, and again, roughly a 3 times increase, slightly more, the town will receive 3 times the tax from that property that they are today, basically.
Did you say this is a community?
And community solar as well.
Yes.
So
It's given to the town residents first if they wanted it in discount rate?
Correct.
Okay.
And I would love to, when we get a little bit further down the road, closer towards construction, set a public hearing, I guess for lack of a better phrase, to talk about potential for the residents within the town of Volney to sign up with us to get a discount on their electricity rate. I would also like to talk to the town supervisor to potentially sign the town of Volney as a municipality where they can be the anchor off-taker in our project and receive a chunk off of their electricity rate as well.
What type of discounts or savings typically do you see? Do you know that yet for this area?
So the general consensus is around 5%. We like to give 10% off of electricity.
I
Does that
heard
make
the
you
town-
smile a little better?
Yeah.
I heard the town board was gonna get 50%.
What's the cost of this project?
So it's roughly around $5 million for hard costs upfront for construction and upgrades and
Will they be buying local?
as local as we can. As you know,
I mean, obviously the panels, but.
correct. We try to stay as local. So currently we're out to bid for our construction companies, and we are reaching out. I don't know the exact companies we have reached out to currently and have bid for the project yet, but we put that out to as many local companies as possible, and we try to hire local as well. We're also going to hopefully have Mr. Scudder be maintaining the project during the 25 years, so he'll be vested not only for the lease but also the maintaining of the property to make sure that it's in well-kept condition.
Things like cutting grass or clearing any brush that might.
So
grow
he's
up.
paid something to maintain it?
Correct. On top of the lease that we have. with him.
Lease also.
Is that 25 acres, it's not going to be a complete 25 acres of panels? How many panels how many acres is actually going to be used for the panels?
So the 25 acres is everything within the fenced area.
Pretty much viewable, that's the hill that goes up as we're coming up Route 6.
Correct. If you're coming towards
Just past
towards town, it's right on your right.
Past the pile of dirt.
Yeah, Rowley's. Yeah.
When it's constructed, will it be hooked into the grid immediately?
Yes. So part of the construction timeline is working with National Grid, so they can run those in parallel. So when National Grid is done with their upgrades, we're done with our construction. So we can couple those together and start producing in good time. We have been working with National Grid. We are in good standing. We have construction estimates for their portion of upgrades, which are well within what we would like. We have put a down payment for 25% of their construction upgrades already, with the remaining balance to be paid, I believe, within a month or two. So, you know, we should be gearing up and ready to go, hopefully in April, May of this year to break ground.
Is it part of the 5 million?
The 5 million is for the construction costs of the rough for the solar array. The interconnection is different. That's around 800,000.
That's all I got.
Any other questions, concerns, comments? Okay, hearing none, I just first want to thank all of you for coming. It's very important to the IDA to have people come to its public hearings. I know there's a process of other public hearings in the community for a project like this, but we appreciate the discussion. Glad, Joe, that you could make it today. Thank you for attending. And with no further questions or comments, I will close the meeting here at 10:20. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
I have some cards. If you guys have any other questions,
Solar for email.
feel free